The Joint National Assembly Committee on INEC and Electoral Matters made some major decisions on INEC's budget for the 2019 general elections, one of which was adopting the amount put forward by President Buhari. We spoke with a member of the committee, Representative Oluwole, to understand the reasons behind some of the decisions taken by the committee.
By provision of our Constitution, Mr. President, has done his bit. He has sent in a letter, even though the letter came late. The House, the Parliament, was already rounding up for the legislative year and going on our annual break when the letter came. But to show that the Parliament is very sensitive, we all, as a member of Committee on Electoral and Political Matters, we took off time, our break, to come back to work, to look at the request of Mr. President. Nigerians should be aware of the provisions of the Constitution, particularly Section 62, vis-a-vis the powers of the Parliament to work in committees. And then in line with Order 18, the House set up this committee, and the responsibility of the committee is to oversight INEC and electoral matters, which the committee is currently discharging. And we've looked at the letter of Mr. President, vis-a-vis his request, and we're doing justice to that.
The Joint Committee of INEC seems to have quite some problems. You're part of that committee. And the biggest problem is the disparity in figures between the request by the presidency and what exactly INEC is requesting for. What exactly do you think is the problem?
Yes, the issue about figure has to do with the position of INEC vis-a-vis that of Mr. President. We are mandated, we are expected, we should, take the letter, the content of the letter of Mr. President, rather than listening to what INEC has to say. Besides that, you can't vary the content of a written document by, oral testimony, So Mr. President in his letter clearly stated that, look, INEC requires 189 billion, but in my opinion as the CNC, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, what I want now is 143 billion. The balance of 45 billion will be taken care of under 2019 budget. Mr. President is very clear in his letter. And even if you look at the bill attached to that letter, it was very clear, very unambiguous, that what that bill stated is 143 billion. So, but it was a lump sum. And, we can just approve taxpayers' money in that manner. So we asked INEC to please work within the request of Mr. President, which is 143 billion. Okay, give us what you need within the ambit of, within the provision of 143 billion. And INEC has complied. So even that as it may be, the Parliament will still look at the content, the details of that 143 billion to see if it is justified. So we need to look at what they want to do with 143 billion. And you see, there are other issues that we're also taking into cognizance. For example, have the privilege of being the chairman of the House Committee on Public Procurement. There are legal issues that INEC has to comply with. That budget cannot even stand except INEC has met the provisions of the law. One is, as INEC put in place procurement plan, Section 18 of Public Procurement Act. Have they conducted what we call needs assessment, market survey? And if you go further, you read provision of Section 16, sub 1A to G, you see that INEC, you cannot even withdraw a dime from the Treasury without complying with the provisions of Procurement Act. Some of the items INEC is asking for, they are sensitive, they are security documents, you know, that you probably may not be able to use the default method of procurement, which is national open competitive bidding, you know, so you'll probably be deploying restrictive tendering method. You know, a lot of issues are involved. So the committee is painstakingly looking at all these issues, you know.
What do you think about the president asking the National Assembly to transfer some of the funds it inserted into the 2018 budget to be used for the 2019 elections?
It's not an issue as far as we are concerned, because, like I've said, the budget is dead on arrival. The parliament will look at it and do justice to it. As for sourcing the fund, I don't think we have any problem about getting money in the budget. We're Nigerians. This country belongs to all of us, so we'll do justice to it. Yes, funds will be made available, and I don't think we have any problem about that. Where the funds is coming from, it's not the mandate of Committee on INEC. It's that of Committee on Appropriation, you know. But we've also looked at the budget itself, and the committee will come up with a recommendation, you know. So the Nigerians shouldn't have any fear about that. That will be addressed by practice and convention, and by my experience in this parliament. I've had the privilege of being there since 2003. We usually have what we call pre-budget dialogue meetings where the standing committees of the House will meet with various MDAs, the oversight, and even before the budget is presented, we'll probably ought to have discussed the contents of the budget so that, working on that synergy between the parliament and the legislative, you know, so the budget will seamlessly have been passed, you know. So, and I think we are taking advantage of the current situation to actually dialogue with INEC, and that has been concluded, you know. We've related. You see, the truth is this: the Constitution and our rules, you know, made provisions. It's not a watertight scenario. Made provisions for management of issues of this nature. So whether we reconvene or we don't reconvene, I don't think it's really a serious issue. But like I've said, we operate a bicameral system. The leadership of the House and the Senate with the bureaucracy will meet and decide on when to reconvene or when we are resuming. It's not my mandate, it's not my duty to talk about that. But the truth is this: we'll do justice to this matter. INEC will be funded. There will be election in this country. The constitution is very roomy. You know, you have a window, you know, to move around. So, and if there is if there is cooperation between the parliament and the executive, I mean, I don't think that should be a problem.